You're the one telling her to do things. I'm just sitting
not even
here.
the fucking United States of America. You know how hard it is to enter this country right now?
You're gonna be here, dog. You're gonna lose.
She can't get me here.
Hello, and welcome to Worlds Apart, your favorite bi-weekly world-building podcast. I am Odin. Diana.
Hi, I'm Diana. Hello. We're world builders. We're making a podcast.
What builders?
That's that's the name of the game, and my god, we do it adequately. Odin, I told you before we were starting this episode that I was going to throw a curveball at you.
Yes.
And you responded with, what exactly did you say?
In the text message or like in person?
Text message, you refused to acknowledge it.
Oh, okay.
And in person, You were like, "Oh God, help me!" So,
we'll
run with that.
It'll on what depending on what it is. It's gonna be fuck yeah or oh God. So, what do you got?
Yeah. Every once in a while, I like to throw a little curveball at Odin, where we go completely off the rails, as if we don't do that every episode already. And I just say, "Hey, world build a blank," and I throw it at him, even though I'm inevitably gonna get dragged into it anyway. Odin, I think you'll like this one.
All right.
Okay. I would love it if you could, either connect it to our world or not, up to you, you can make it entirely your own, if you could build a holy site or ritual site, including the ritual that comes with, but you should start with just what the site looks like. When you think of like some place that some magic shit could happen, what do you think of?
All right.
He's rubbing his hands, audience. For those who are not watching the YouTube, this man locked in so hard.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I'm a wizard main when it comes to D&D. TTRPG in general, anything that has magic, I'm going to pick it. So, you lobbing me a ritual site slash a, what was the other one? What was the other technical term?
A ritual site, like a magic site, some holy site.
Holy site, that was it. Okay. We're going to go with ritual. And it's going to be evil, because that's how we function here. Let's be real.
Oh, shit! Okay.
Ritual site, evil. I am seeing in my mind's eye. Actually, we can make this work. We connected things to Ecleus last session.
Ecleus, the bane of our existence.
I
mean, not our existence as world builders, but the bane of everyone's existence in the world of building.
Of general weather, everyone hates it.
Yeah.
So we could connect it to Ecleus, but what I'm seeing is your classic, like, wide open space that has barren wastelands. Like, the ground is cracked kind of vibe. Like, it's been almost dried out of life, almost necrotic. And at the center of it is not a... I forget what they're called. Do you know the old Aztec buildings? Do you know that style? How it's like stone pillars? Pyramids? Kind of, yes. Old Aztec. So it makes me think of like kind of like El Dorado.
With like the steps leading up to a major place.
Yes, correct. So that kind of vibe. Just that like blocky, simple kind of design, but it's beautiful in its make.
Okay.
I'll look up ancient Aztec so I can make sure that we're on the exact same page.
Yeah.
And I'll get our lovely editor Lavendor, aka into the edits, to throw up some references so everyone who's watching on the YouTube, follow us by the way, can get a sense of what I'm talking about, so I don't sound absolutely bonkers and crazy, you know?
Lav, if you could throw up a picture of just the Bass Pro Shop pyramid here, that would be great. Lav, if you could throw up that one Disneyland ride that's just a pyramid and nothing else, please.
Alright, so Lav's out to get us this episode. Got it.
Lav is gonna kill us, but primarily you first, and that's what I'm here for. I'm
me?
not here to survive, I'm here to outlive you.
You're the one telling her to do things. I'm just sitting
not even
here.
the fucking United States of America. You know how hard it is to enter this country right now?
You're gonna be here, dog. You're gonna lose.
She can't get me here.
Okay. So I've dropped a couple of references in the Discord so you have an understanding of what I'm talking about. Um, just so
Oh
you know.
shit, sneaking it in.
Yes, I almost forgot. Um,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, I've dropped a couple of references in there. I don't know. By the way, I do apologize in advance. You might hear Lav in the background laughing and screaming. She's currently playing a game and having
Ah.
the best time in the world. So if you hear her, I do apologize. Um, but so this is the kind of vibe I'm looking at. That kind of aspect, specifically the second photo that I shared. That kind of open space that builds up to point to point to point. A ritual site.
So when it comes to these sorts of pyramids, right? Would
Mhm.
you do you have a substance that they would be made out of? Would it be stone? It doesn't have to be
It
stone. Could
doesn't
be
have to be stone.
flesh, could be wood, could be whatever you want.
Um, fuck it. I'm gonna throw lore into it as well because why not? This is what we do, right?
That's the whole
So
thing, yeah.
that's it. So I'm gonna say this is like a staple in this world.
Mm.
Something big happened here. There was, whether it was a war or it was something to stop something, whether it was to open a portal, I don't know. But this event, whatever happened here, was big, and due to the events that occurred here, the land around it has become barren and wasteful. Almost like life was pulled out of the earth to do something.
And used as like a fuel.
Exactly.
I love
Mm,
that.
yes. So I don't think I'm going to connect it to gods this time. I'm going to take back
We have
Eccles.
two, so that seems like
Yeah.
one is a god of the
Eccles,
fucking ocean and one is a god of spices. So I think you're okay not connecting to one of those guys right now.
hey, he gave us garnish. Be nice.
Shit, you're right. Yeah. I'd sacrifice 10 million people in an entire land's worth of crop field for
A
garnish.
cantrip called garnish. Absolutely. Okay, so lore in this world, we haven't really given much to it. So how about you and I, to build up to this ritual side that we can sort of give life to at the end? What are some world events that could have happened?
Oh,
Something big.
I so you know how we talked about the concept of the sun and the ocean giving birth to the five seasons, but they ignore the fifth.
Yes.
What if this is a destined birth site for the sun to give birth to the seasons? And so, if anything were to ever happen again, or if another season were to be born, or if a successor to any of the existing seasons were to come into play, it would be here and it would have to be here. So maybe that makes it a target for Ecleus, given that he thinks that he's trying to wipe out the other seasons. And so he knows, like, if anyone was to come and like challenge his position, it would be here that they were born. So he gets rid of this spot.
So it's almost like an ascension site.
It is. It is exactly. Yeah.
Okay, because we briefly touched on a while ago that our gods can be succeeded.
They can. Oh, that's true. Yeah, all of them. Oh shit, that includes the seasons. Yeah.
Yeah. So this
Cool.
doesn't have to pertain to the gods itself. This could just. What if this is where our god was killed and succeeded,
Oh.
and a new god rose from it?
So I will say I've been
Mhm.
watching a lot of Attack on Titan recently, and out of
Yes.
necessity, in order
Yes.
to control where the new god's spirit goes, it, at least in Attack on Titan, spoiler, an old Titan has to consume a new Titan
Yes.
in order to, or a new humanoid who possesses the power of the Titans in order to make sure that the power gets passed on.
Are you
This is a
saying
thing.
this dude had to consume this god?
I'm not
In a
saying we rip
sense?
it off entirely, but I imagine some sort of ritual has to happen where it's like they both have to be in the same place, the old and the new, and it's like a passing of the torch, or a consumption, or a like this person's spirit or soul moves into a new body. It could even be a full on like brain transplant. It could be however, whatever you want it to look like, honestly.
Okay. Well, was this a passing of the torch, or was this a I want to be a god and I'm gonna take it?
Oh, I
Did
think
someone
it's
challenge a god, or did a god choose someone to succeed them?
I feel like it could be both. Where if a god were successfully bound to its mortal form and then brought to this site, it could be forced into a new mortal vessel.
Interesting.
But also, if it wasn't and it needed to pass on for some reason or another. Because
Mhm.
honestly, the concept of immortality in and of itself is it's fucking scary, right?
It
Like,
is.
when you ask people on the fucking internet, like, hey, would you be immortal if you could? A lot of people would say no, because they're like, yeah, I don't want to see the death of everyone I know and love. I don't want to see the death of the universe. So,
I'd get bored, I reckon.
it would be fucking, it'd be exhausting. I don't want to see another Fast and Furious movie, okay? Like, that's where I'd call it. And
See, I'm over
they
here
went to
thinking.
the fucking. They went to space. What more do you want from me, Vin Diesel? Leave me alone.
Look, I'm over here thinking like, yeah, bills would be insane having to figure out how to live every time you
Bills?
fucking. But I'm thinking realistically. You're thinking about the important shit. So-
I'm thinking about Vin Diesel as I always do.
oh my god. Oh, actually, there's a. Speaking of Vin Diesel, I don't know if
No,
you've seen it.
what do
You
you
probably
mean?
haven't, because speaking of Vin Diesel, you probably haven't seen it because you don't watch movies. Aside from John Wick.
Fuck off. That's a good movie.
There's a
All of
movie
them.
he's in called The Last Witch Hunter. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I would recommend it. It's actually really good. And
Oh, we talked
yeah.
about this last night, did we not?
Now it's Hansel and Gretel. Get your shit right.
Oh shit! Sorry. How many fucking witch hunter movies?
I like
Hold
witch
on.
hunter movies. Okay.
Okay, Vin Diesel witch hunter.
Last Witch Hunter.
Lab, depending
yes.
on how long this bit goes on, you might have to cut this. I'm warning you in advance. It's the last witch hunter is just Vin Diesel in front of a car. This is just a Fast and Furious movie in a different skin.
I promise. I promise it's good. But like,
Does he make a reference to Nas? Because I guarantee this is the same fucking thing.
I haven't watched it in a little bit. We'll have to watch it. Then we'll figure it out.
Buddy. It says the
But,
sequel's in development in his
Diana,
fucking
focus.
Wikipedia. The first one came out in 2015. How much more in development could it get? I hate it here.
But
Lab.
speaking,
This isn't in your job description. Send an angry letter to Vin Diesel for me. Go on.
is your Vin Diesel rage over? Are you good?
I'm
okay.
fine. I have my sparkling water. We're good.
So in that movie though, spoilers ahead. He hunts a witch, obviously kills the witch, but she curses him with immortality. And he like lives on, and there's witches, and they adapt and grow to the modern day. Hence why you see him in front of a car. But it's revealed like the witch did something, yada 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 yada. But she's like the grand witch, and she creates almost this tree of just necrotic energy because
That's cool.
like a piece of her is still in the world, and from it, when it got free, she was able to build like a spark and build it into this giant thing. So when it comes to transferring stuff, maybe a piece of that god stays within the successor, so it like keeps in the knowledge that they knew, but also holds true to what it believed in and its rights. And if changes happen over time, everything just adapts. So
Interesting. Would you think that the god would then try and seek out someone who has the same? Because assuming that every god who has existed up to our current knowledge, wherever the timeline is, would be mortal to a degree, would they try and seek out like bloodlines of a particular variety, or would they try and just be like, oh, whoever's a saint of my church, or like whoever exemplified certain things, whoever did me the most favors? Who do you think they'd go for?
honestly, I think it would vary god to god. I think that there would absolutely be gods who were like bloodline related or royalty related, or they think are worthy or whatnot. I feel like there would be gods who would just be like, I like this guy, and just when I go, you like,
Hey, me and my angel saw you from across the room and we liked your vibe.
exactly. Oh god. But there would also be like gods like made of pride who were like, if you want my spot, you gotta take it. So at one of these ritual sites of ascension, There literally could just be like the mortal vessel of a god, or like its avatar waiting to fight. It just lives there.
Colosseum.
Exactly.
Oh,
He's just posted up every time someone walks up. He's like, "All right, Henry Cavill, reload and then go." But like,
okay.
so it could vary on god to god. So these ritual ascension sites could be a variety of different things. One could absolutely be a Colosseum that a god built in the middle of a space that said anyone who enters, it's to the death. One of us is walking out and it's not going to be you. That kind of vibe.
What about gods that don't have a very, like, I guess, death focused domain? Because already we've built a god that is very food focused and a god
Yes.
that is, we could go gods of like the wilds, gods of fucking horses. I don't know.
Mhm.
What do you think for, would it still be that sacrificial sort of sense?
I mean, it doesn't have to be. A Gods of the Wilds could literally have one of the most beautiful and peaceful ascension things. It could be literally a pass, like handing them the wind in a sense. I don't know, just for example. And the ability to do these things, and the god just Thanoses away and vanishes. But
Uh-huh.
deeming an ascension to one way, I feel is very restrictive. I feel like it could be anything and anything that we want it to be. But
Oh,
for the sake of your curveball, this ritual site,
yeah.
I feel like this one has to be a staple. Maybe it was the first time someone attempted it. So it sort of set the bar that this is possible, but it comes at a big price.
Oh, the first time apotheosis was achieved.
Exactly.
Oh, that's intense as shit. Do you
Yeah.
think the first time that it was achieved, would the rest of the gods that are watching it rebel or like care in some manner? Or were they just kind of like watching and being like, there's no way this bitch is going to make this work? Like, is it, like, are they just kind of popcorn in
Well,
hand or do they care?
I think it would depend on the god that we choose to have been ascended for the first time. Because if it was like a god of death and someone beat the god of death, that's like, okay, we're on watch now. Like we know this is a thing. But if they, for example, he's okay. This is hypothetical. If someone took the god of food and put him in the ground,
God fucking for. Listen, the god of food has no enemies. He's never hurt anyone ever. Just a plump old man trying to live his life, okay?
he's
Man's
the
trying to make
second
like the next iteration of 7 seed bread, but it's 9 seeds.
the second you realize what
Okay.
I was talking about, your eyes just went so fucking wide.
I stared. I was like, you better
It's
not.
why I prefaced he's okay. This is hypothetical. But yeah, like for example, there's throw out some random categories of gods that we could have. So god of the wilds, god of death, god of war, god of life, god of love. What's like a we'll go with a lesser deity esque level kind of god. So what kind of vibe do you feel?
Oh, I want to fuck with your concept of the sea and make a god of tide pools.
Why are you fucking with my god?
Nah, fuck off. Because I feel like you're good at it. That's why I want to throw you a curveball. You already did the concept of like barnacles growing up a totem pole type substance
Mhm.
when it comes to the sea. But what if something isn't subject to the whims of the moon as much as the normal sea is? And someone is like, hey, maybe that's a source of power that's a subsect of the god of the sea. And they try and take a hold of that using one of these holy sites. Or maybe if your god of the tides is a child of the god of the sea, and they try and use this holy site in some capacity,
To
what do
ascend
you
over
think,
to the
Jen?
god of sea?
They could, if they want.
Can
If you
lesser
wanted to.
deities challenge gods?
Oh, I feel like they have to be able to, right? Otherwise, where's the drama?
Where's the tea?
Yeah.
Um, that could actually add a lot to the world if lesser deities are gunning for like higher deity spaces.
Yeah. A god
Especially
of
those,
shadows wants to be a god of darkness. A god of the tides wants to be a god of
exactly.
the sea.
Especially that would actually make this first impact a lot easier to make sense as well. For a lesser deity to be like, I could do it. That's
Yeah.
and I kind of like the idea of the god of shadows wanting the god of darkness.
Hmm.
That's a really good fucking shout, D. Okay. So
For
let's
those who
say
are watching the audio version of this podcast, by the way, I want you to know you should watch the video version, primarily because you're missing out on like half an hour's worth, 21 minutes and 59 seconds specifically, of Odin just like thumbing his beard in a very in a very like stereotypical like thinking sort of manner. He's doing the exact sort of like motions, and you're missing out on that, audience. So this is my plug for you to come watch the video version of the podcast for Odin's beard.
you really called me out on that shit, dog. I'm just
I know, I was watching you do it, and I was like, how long do I give it before I call it out?
okay.
Go on though.
So the plan is just gonna put my
Did
hand
you
down.
just hold your finger down?
It's a natural reaction because it's stimulating because you play with something, you know. But
I wish I had a beard, dude. It'd be so fun.
I can glue hair on your face if you want.
I can glue hair on my face if I want. I don't need a middleman.
Just putting the idea out there, dog. It's possible. You're just not putting in enough effort.
I'm not committed enough.
Okay, so let's run with the idea of the god of shadows, a lesser deity, wants to become the god of darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, in this world, whereabouts do you think this ritual would have taken place? We have the map just above the references if we need an idea. But is this something that would have happened deep beneath the earth where it's dark, in a cave? Is this somewhere that's like he's made it out in the open? What's this lesser deity doing, or what has this lesser deity done to prepare to attempt this?
I feel like this lesser deity would be relatively far away from the grand like epicenter of the of Eccleus like breaking out into the main world. Mostly because partially because they're like, oh, Eccleus is just gonna consume me if I get close enough. And as a god of shadows, regardless of what happens, the eclipse is gonna take me. I'm gonna be more powerful, but nothing compared to Eccleus. And so
Is
there's
Eccleus our god of darkness?
To a degree, right? I mean, if they're the god of the eclipse.
Possibly. Okay.
Unless we want a separate god of dark. What if they were consorts?
If they were what, sorry?
Consorts, where they were like... Because there's got to be some god that dictates darkness when Eccleus isn't around, right?
I'd imagine so. I always thought, like, eclipse and darkness is two separate things.
That makes sense.
Because the eclipse to me is like a dusk kind of vibe.
Uh-huh. Isn't it crazy? Dude, have you ever been part of an eclipse? Like a proper solar eclipse?
Yes.
Really? Wasn't it crazy how the birds went, like, absolutely apeshit?
Yeah, they didn't know what the fuck was happening. It felt like an apocalypse.
It was crazy. I witnessed one in, God, what was it, 2017?
Yeah.
Or wherever the last, like, West Coast one was. Oh, it was crazy. Yeah, I feel like they'd be separate entities, but for the sake of almost fearfulness to a degree.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I feel like they would kind of take their main... They would seek out a ritual site that was, like, on the opposite side of the continent, partially and publicly because they didn't want to, quote-unquote, like, encroach upon Eccles's or the goddess of darkness's, like, territory, but publicly or realistically for the sake of not wanting to actually get quashed by another god of darkness that's looking to take over the territory of shadows. So it's like they exist on the northern side of the continent for the sake of self-preservation more than anything. But they say it's for the sake of, like, conquest.
Okay. Hmm. All right. We can run with the northern area. What preparations did he make for this?
Oh God.
Was there like,
Preparations.
did he contact other lesser deities? Did he talk to another god? Was there a magical item he came across or created where that aided to the ritual, to the whether it succeeded or failed kind of vibe?
Oh, that's a
Because let's
good
be,
question.
if he challenged Ecleus, he lost. Let's be real.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude would get squashed.
He got
He's like
bodied.
a hopeful child following after like Superman at this point.
Yeah.
Um,
Incredible boy. Anyway.
oh God. Oh, I haven't seen that movie in forever. No, I feel like he would get into the concept of being super into or allied with the goddess of the moon for the
Okay.
sake of trying to understand her moon phases and trying to figure out when she would be in a new moon state, because then everything is shadow. But he wouldn't be
True.
powerful enough to really wait until like an eclipse happened, or he would be impatient enough because the concept of someone trying to take over from the god of darkness themselves,
Mm.
inherently that's impatient, right?
Yes.
So that's where I'm coming from, I
Okay.
suppose.
All right. So he uh, did he align with the moon, or does he just pray to it or hope for its help?
I think he studies it more than any normal humanoid has. I think the goddess of the moon kind of falls prey to these cycles but doesn't understand them. Especially
Okay.
because in traditional depictions of the goddess of the moon, right? It's not one goddess going through several cycles and changing her form. It's three separate goddesses who aren't, they're aware of each other, but they're different life cycles of the same person. So to a degree, they have some inhibition in that matter.
Right.
And where this god is looking at it from the outside and being like, oh, you guys don't really know what's going on and you don't know what your true potential is. That's okay. I'll take it.
Mm.
And waits for a new moon. And
Okay.
yeah, just
Well,
uses
question:
it as his time to shine. Yeah.
how many moons do we have in this world?
Fuck! Oh, don't
How
make
many?
it more than one,
How many
dude. My
moons do you want,
homeworld
dude?
has three, and that's so many.
You have
Okay, audience.
3 moons in your home world.
I'm gonna give you guys. Okay, this is not something I do on this podcast. It's just something I used to do on an old podcast I used to do. But there is, if you go to Donjon, it's .bin.sh. There's a series of essentially like tools you can use out there to build your world. There's name generators, there's town generators. One of them is a calendar generator. And when I was building my world, my home world, which is unrelated to this podcast, Celestion, forever ago, I used their generator to come up with the like moon phases, the calendar, the months of my world, and
Oh,
all I
that's
would have
cool.
to say is like, "Oh yeah, I have this many months and this many moons." And then it would automatically spit out like what every moon phase is for me. So,
That's
if you're
awesome.
building your own world, highly recommend it. More moons is not as scary as it sounds, but also it fucking sucks on a logistical god level. So,
Valid. We should also use that for like this world one day. We should like organize our actual
we could.
year calendar because that might
If I were
actually come
to
in handy.
Oh, 1,000%. We got to come up with. I feel like when we come up with the concept of our like calendar, it should be based around constellations, where our modern
Okay.
world is, which means we have to come up with constellations. But that'll be a different episode.
Yes. Back to the ritual site.
Mhm.
Okay. So northern region. If this thing studied the moon and like prepared for it, maybe this Aztec-esque building is built in a moon cycle.
Built in a moon cycle.
Like each of these pyramids is what I'll call them for now, is in the shape of a different moon.
Oh, that's a cool concept.
That all connect to a point in the center where he is trying to ascend. So he has every phase of the moon built around him, maybe built in what's a moonstone? What's a moon-like stone? A stone like the
Besides
moon.
Moonstone.
Besides, we could make everything out of cheese because the moon is made of cheese.
Hey, chat, how you feel about some cheddar being like the binding fucking shit of your world? Moonstone itself is a thing. Opal tends to be
intolerant. Sorry?
That's true. Oh, buddy. I'm sorry. Can we get an F in chat for Odin's lactose intolerance?
Oh,
I was gonna say,
I'm fine.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm saying imagine if you were. Right, Lav?
God, can't imagine. Lav. Can we get an F in chat for Lav's lactose intolerance? I was gonna say, moonstones as a concept are not that bad, or opals are very much along the same lines where they're very based off the reflective nature of themselves.
True. I mean, we could have it majority made out of opal, but the reason it took so long is that he had to find moonstones that have fallen to the earth over time.
Oh.
So he needs like one piece of a moonstone in each of the cycles. And the new moon, where it's like not in the sky, is literally just one piece of the moonstone embedded.
Mm-hmm. And the more powerful the moon gets, the more moonstones you need.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in order to build the entirety of the almost arena, you'd need like a meteor shower?
Kind of, yeah. Or you would have been waiting years to pull this off.
So does that mean that the gods would keep an eye out on like the concept of meteor showers just to be extra secure in their place? Like, especially if there are gods that don't want to give up their position. Would they just like be like, oh yeah, we're gonna be extra careful about the people who are in our employ in this month?
Well, again, this is just the idea that this person had to ascend. And since they studied so much on the moon to try to ascend or use its power to ascend to a god of darkness, they've just based it around this. So each, like I mentioned, each ascension site could be completely different. This is just the idea this one person had.
That gives so many good ideas. Would it still be the same concept for... Because the way I think of gods, right? And
Yes.
I tend to think of them as like very minute to the degree of like, oh yeah, we have a god of cooking, so we can have god of wildflowers, or we can have a god of sunflowers. Would it be the same thing?
Best
They
flower,
also
by the
have
way.
to find a best flower. Objectively speaking, audience, please take another look at our logo if you're not sure why we care so much about sunflowers. I was gonna say like would a minor god have to do the same thing in order to transfer over their power?
Possibly. It varies because have you ever played a character in a TTRPG that's trying to become a god at all?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I feel like I'm inspired by your character too, because I feel like that's a cool fucking concept, but I haven't yet to.
It's a lot. So this isn't something that's just done on a whim. In my mind, let me make this very clear. This is my process and thoughts when it comes to ascending to godhood in a TTRPG game. So my character Lyra, he is attempting to become a god, but he only has mortal powers, obviously. So he is capped at level 20, for example. To become a god, you have to be divine in a sense. So what I have done is I am currently building a magical item throughout this campaign that I am constantly upgrading so it gets stronger and stronger each time, where I can drain magic from people and give it to myself.
Oh.
So the cap I have on my magic will be amplified because what magic I didn't have, I now do. I took it and I'm giving it to me so I can be more powerful to where I either challenge a god or I hit a point where I just naturally ascend because I'm this powerful. I don't know the mechanics. Toby's the DM. He has to figure all that out. I just spit ideas at him of how I'm going to do this, and he has to figure it out. So,
dude, I love the concept of D&D where you're like, oh yeah, my party member, my in-game PC thinks this would work. Therefore, you have to figure out if it works or if it doesn't. And don't tell me, but my God, you're going to have to figure it out.
Yep. But yeah, so that's And this is a process that's going to take a very long time. I have to drain magic from a bunch of different creatures, or I have to find one creature that could give me enough, basically.
Oh. Does it matter if it's like magic, like wizardy type, like intelligence-based magic, or can it be like innate?
Anything that can cast a spell.
Holy shit! So you could go up and like stick a stick in a dragon and
Yep.
just suck its magic. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
wild.
Yeah. The way it's currently built is I can only drain first level spell slots.
Mhm.
So if we're mid combat and I stab someone with what I'm calling the siphon, uh, if I if they fail the check, I drain a first level spell slot from them and I gain one back.
Oh,
So it's sort of
oh.
refreshing me currently. It's not at a point where I can just drain the magic and keep it. So
So
yeah,
you think that's how minor gods would work?
I think it's one way it could absolutely work. Gaining enough power to where you ascend from a mortal to a deity.
God, what a terrifying concept. Because after a certain point, you'd have to be concerned about the amount of like minor deities that exist out there and that are willing to pass on their power or willing to take power.
Yeah,
That's oh
it could be. It could be something that's kept under wraps in this world, that ascending to godhood is possible due to the amount of people that would want to do it, or those who dedicate themselves to becoming a god, maybe they're swiftly taken out,
oh
or
interesting.
they go the lich route for an example, because liches technically aren't gods, but at some point I feel like that's pretty close to a god.
Yeah, if you have the ambition to become a lich, you have the ambition to become. It's like fucking. It's like stepping up two more flights of stairs
Exactly.
after going up 11. Like it's
Yep.
you may as well. But after a certain point, then, that means that gods would have to take into account the potential power of their most powerful saints and their most powerful paladins and clerics and things like that, and be like, hey, just so you know, like, just because you're powerful doesn't mean you can take my spot,
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, it's probably a conversations a lot of gods have with followers and stuff, because telling them, if you try to take my spot, I won't hesitate to put you down. Coming from a god, I'd be like,
Yeah.
got it. Cool. Captain.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, exactly. Because if a god tells you, I'll kill you, you're going to be like, you would? Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I believe you. So maybe it's something that those who are interested keep under wraps.
Hmm. So at that point, would the god try and make these sites publicly available, or would they make them so that they're kind of kept under wraps, or only
100%
available
kept
to like?
under wraps.
Oh, interesting. So they
Like
exist
they,
still above ground then? I assume they're for the pyramids.
I'd imagine so, yeah. But maybe they don't start until they have everything. So rather than building things as they go and collecting stuff along the way, they wait until they have every essential need, because rocks and stones and bricks to build the things you can find around. But like, for example, with the moonstones, maybe this deity or this person has waited centuries to get enough of these stones for this to work.
Oh,
If it
interesting.
does. So
Wild. Okay. So if they're all shaped similarly to these sorts of ziggurats, these like Aztec pyramids, it's for those who aren't aware, Aztec pyramids are very stepwise, where it's like
mhm.
you go up and then you go over, and then you go up and you go over. It's very like vertical, lateral, vertical, lateral.
Yeah.
If they were decorated in a certain sense, beyond just moonstones being like embedded into each step or whatever,
Mhm.
how would you feel they would be decorated for each god? Would they be different, or would they all be like the tenets of the god carved into the steps? Or like, is there anything beyond just having a pyramid that makes this place special?
Could have the history sketched in along the way.
Shit, that's a good idea. So that way,
Like,
whoever's taking on the power is forced to know what they're
yeah.
taking on.
Whether it's carved into the steps so that you read as you ascend, or because a lot of these temples or pyramids, if you will, some levels are like hollow, so you can enter them. So it could
Oh.
be like uh shrines depicted on the inside of the first level or the third level or something like that that
Hmm.
tell the story, have dedicated altars to certain aspects of it, or anything along those lines, really.
Cool. God, that's cool.
Mm.
Can you imagine like walking in and paying your respects to each individual level in a pyramid before you're about to take on the powers of a god
Yeah.
and being able to see what everyone left behind before you? And you're the
Hmm.
only one who gets to know that info.
Yep.
Oh, what a concept. That's cool.
And these sites, even if we didn't want them, like, because if these sites were always here forever, hundreds of people would try to become a god. Like, that's human nature. We want to be powerful, yada, yada, yada. So maybe after each actual encounter with a god, these places fall to ruin.
Oh,
So they either have to be rebuilt, or you have to find a new location and start again from scratch.
interesting. Okay. Are there any requirements to the location, or is it just like, oh, you can throw it anywhere, just keep it secret?
Depends how large we want them to be. I feel like the dude doing it for the first time probably made a very, very large area,
Mm.
assuming it would grab more power, I guess. But I don't know, it could adapt over time. If a god wants to hand off his power to a mortal, that could be like a click of the finger if he wanted it to. But someone who's challenging a god who may not have been aware of the challenge, that's a grand gesture to demand as well.
Yeah.
So it would sort of vary god to god and person to person. A god may get challenged at one of these sites and not deem it worthy enough to face.
Hmm. God, me getting a work email before 7 o'clock Pacific time.
Exactly. Exactly.
Absolutely not worth my time.
How dare you? Like
It's like, why are you addressing me?
exactly.
And it's just like, this
This
is your
email
job.
did not find me well. Like
Yeah, but and also fuck you, Karen. Now, at that point, then what amount of manpower does it take to make this ritual happen? Because if you can't just build a site like this, and you can't have a site like this exist without some people knowing and some group of people knowing, but do you have to have like a whole series of priests? Do they all have to devote their own life essence to it, or is it just like yeah, if you manage to corner this god in this arena, then you win or could win?
I think you're absolutely correct. Um Being able to just corner a god, like any and every god because you want to, is a bit silly and a bit too easy to do. So I feel like if you want to ascend to godhood, you have to have a following of some sorts.
Mm.
People who are willing to dedicate their faith to you, because
You
that
have to
would
have a
show
cult.
in a kind of in a sense. It won't be every. It doesn't have to be every cult that's like sacrifice it. Blah, blah, blah. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be that. It could be someone who is genuinely a good human and has done good things throughout their entire life, and has people follow them saying, I would put my faith in you." That kind of simple.
God,
Um,
what an interesting dichotomy too, of like people who are taking godly power and apotheosis by force as opposed to people who have just been good people and who have made friends and who are like, genuinely are good-hearted folks
yeah,
and they use the same site.
yeah.
That's such a good dichotomy.
There could just be people who live for the challenge as well. They don't care if they win or lose. They just
Oh,
want to say, "I challenged a god in this life."
that's cool. Dude, can you imagine people who, especially in certain cultures, who travel to these sites almost on a God, almost on a pilgrimage, and who are like, yeah, I'm gonna challenge the god of iron, or I'm
Yeah,
gonna challenge the god of darkness, and I'm not gonna win, but it's part of my culture to die fighting, so I'm gonna die fighting, and I'm gonna do it to a god.
yeah.
What a concept!
Well, it doesn't, because I just had the idea when you said the god of iron. It doesn't even have to be a fight to the death. It could be a challenge of skill. So a god of the blacksmith or god of the
Oh,
forge, whoever can forge a better weapon, a better item, or whatever. Someone who has dedicated their entire lives to blacksmithing could build a forge somewhere worthy enough for the god of the forge to come down and use in a challenge to see who can make a better item.
Yeah. God, that's cool. And especially when you think about the implications of like humankind or like humanoid kind as a whole across the world, that means that people are constantly pushing themselves to become better and become
Yeah.
more advanced for the sake of potentially beating the current god, becoming the new god and setting a new bar. That's
Hmm.
so cool. That's a good concept.
Yeah. I
Can you
think
imagine Iron Chef or Master Chef, but as a godly competition? You're just like, you get to kill Gordon Ramsay at the end, and you're like, yeah, take his powers.
how do you want to do this? I take 2 pieces of bread and I put them on the side of his head and I ask him, what is he? Like,
Stop! Right.
oh my god. I do think though, we should make this canon now. No matter how far we are into the present of this place, only a few challenges have been accepted or done.
Oh, okay.
They are
so
rare.
it's like,
They are a very, very, very rare thing. Like, this is something you have to dedicate years of your life to achieve. This isn't something that you wake up one day going, I'm going to challenge God, you know?
feeling bored, bit of fist fight God right now.
Exactly. So, for example, like, go to the forge. Maybe you're a blacksmith. You have to become a master blacksmith in your lifetime. And maybe you have to find one of the rarest materials in this world
Oh.
worthy enough to build something out of to challenge this god. Or maybe it's a specific ore or metal or something that this god has created and is a very limited supply in the world.
Whoa.
For example, God of War, for example, Kratos style. If you want to fight the God of War, you have had to have won many wars. You've had to lead armies. You've had to become a staple in this world of that is a man we do not fuck with. That is a woman who has killed kings above kings and kings and kings. That kind of vibe.
This person has ended bloodlines. Like,
Exactly.
they're the antithesis of our enemy. Clearly, they should be a god of our culture.
Yep.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, and which would give like players in this world such a like ego killer arc in a backstory. Like, they could have been raised to be this great champion, have like crushed everything, and they come up against an ogre and get absolutely shit rocked from an ogre. And that, because my character's had that realization. He wants to be a god and he almost got his shit kicked in by a knoll. So it's a
Which
reality
creates
check.
A lot of enmity towards a certain god or another.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
It also creates a lot of self-doubt and paranoia and thirst for wanting to be better and untouchable and ruthless, if you will.
Yeah.
It's a whole thingamajig, man. It's intense. So to answer your question, when it comes to this curveball, I think we should go with an ascension site that changes depending on the person and the god. But these sites that have been built are secluded. They are tailored to said god.
Mhm.
And upon completion of this ritual and this ascension or this loss, these sites crumble to ruin and need to be rebuilt or start fresh somewhere else.
Good shit. And in the meantime, they have the entire history of that god, including its previous defeats. So you know exactly what you're going up against by the time you climb to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good shit. All right. Any last touches for a concept of a holy site? Any ideas as to how they would be chosen? Do they have to be particular to a certain god to be chosen? Or are they just like, they spawn randomly and the followers have to find them?
That's a good question. I think this is something that doesn't spawn but has to be built. If you want this badly, you have to do it yourself.
So, like, it could be in theory anywhere. So then could someone just, like, build one in the middle of the city and be like, oh, yeah, like, whoever manages to make
I
it.
mean, it's possible. There could be a
Oh,
king
to
who,
that degree. I thought, oh shit, okay, I get you.
like, yeah, like this is something that hasn't been done much in history, and though, like, the only real scripture or writing that people know about it are from finding the ruins. Because I feel like if you challenge God and lost, you don't really walk away from it.
Mm-mm.
It it's kind of the end of your story.
Yeah. Ugh. Can you imagine the amount of heroes over time that have gone up to challenge some god or another, or believing that they could handle the eclipse better, or believing that they could handle magic better, the elements better, and
Hmm.
then just getting their lives and bloodlines snuffed out?
Can you imagine how many have tried to get to that point and never made it?
Fuck.
Yep.
All right. Anything else you have to add to the concept of the incredibly dual? God, what's the double-edged, I suppose, concept of a holy site before we end it for this episode?
Not really. I think it's just important to reiterate this is a very, very rare thing in this world.
Hmm.
There have only been a few challenges that have gone through. Because if someone could do this every single day,
Yeah, fuck that. There'd be warfare
ridiculous.
everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
but the concept of a king building a city around a site where he hopes to challenge a god, oof,
what a
oof.
wild like thing, right? But also, if the challenge fails and the site crumbles, then
Whole
you
city
just
goes down.
all that infrastructure, dude. We
Yeah,
built
dude.
trains, and for what?
Yeah. Again, we need to watch Wrath of the Titans because there's like a whole thing that this correlates to. Because I just remembered.
Pretty
You doing
much
anything
Attack
after
on
this?
Titan. I don't think so.
If you want to watch
No.
Wrath of the Titans,
Is it?
we'll get the crew.
Is that the one where what's his fuck is holding up a Medusa head?
Yes,
Is it actually?
yes, yes.
Oh, I've never recalled the movie accurately in my life. Holy shit! Hell yeah, I'm down. In the
Awesome.
meantime, audience, thank you so much for joining us. Sorry for
Thanks,
dragging you into
guys.
our Wrath of the Titans vibe. Extra special shout out to the people behind Donjon. Highly recommend it if anyone is looking to be a world builder or just general tabletop gaming enthusiast, player, GM, whatever you want to. Honorary shout out to Donjon. That's Donjon, like the old school vibe of how you spell it. In the meantime, Odin, where can people find you?
You can find me pretty much on any single social media platform there is. You can find me at Odin_Sun on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, X if you use it. I don't
Ugh.
really. Yeah, you can just find me on any social media, except you can find me on Twitch at officially Odie. Kind of stuff I post if you're interested in TTRPGs, if you're interested in Pokemon, whether it's shiny hunting or card collecting. I'm also an aspiring voice actor and trying to get a bit better at that these days. So if you're interested in any of those things, feel free to chuck me a follow. I post a bit more regularly these days. So, yeah. Diana, where can I find you?
Hi, hello, I'm Diana Faye, also known as Diana of the Rose. I'm a tabletop gaming content creator, so I do a lot of this shit, but like actually in person and in practice, you know? So instead of talking about how you create cool gods and horrifying shit, I actually play it. But mostly on the player side. You can find me as at Diana the Rose on all platforms, including TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts for the most part, as well as YouTube long form, well, like once every couple months when I'm not lazy, for the most part. I'm also a Twitch streamer. I'm a Twitch partner, specifically a member of the Pride Guild, Latin Guild, and the Women's Guild. I knew there was a third one. The Women's Guild is the newest to the crew, so.
Hell yeah.
But beyond that, you can also find me at various conventions around the world. The next one, by the time that this comes out, will probably be PAX Unplugged or TwitchCon. For those who are tabletop gaming creators, PAX Unplugged is the place to be. And then I will also be at PAX Aus in October for those who like Odin's accent to the point that they live and breathe it. Ironically,
Nice.
clearly. Wouldn't be real. It's all fake. It's always been fake. Australia is not real.
No.
And beyond that, at Diana the Rose is where you can find me. We also have our editor. Isn't that right?
We do. We have the lovely Ms. Lavender, the lovely Entity Edits. You can find her at Entity__edits on basically all platforms. Lav is incredible. We cannot give her enough praise. She helps us out so much. She has the best impact on this podcast with her editing.
She's
People
the
are
hero of
loving
our
it.
pod. If you laughed at us at any point, I guarantee it's because of Lav. It's not actually because of us.
And a special shout out. I can't remember the user who commented it, but Lav dropped a small jump scare in a previous
That was so
episode,
good.
and someone was watching at like 1 a.m.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
and
Whoever that
commented,
was, I'm
"Yo,
so
it's
sorry."
commented, yo, it's 1 a.m. Why is the editor scaring me?"
Entity
So-
Edits is a master of their craft. Please
Oh,
go check them out.
she's incredible, absolutely incredible. You want to tell them about Toby?
Yeah, Toby.exe is our artist who has done the amazing logo for Worlds Apart and will do like almost everything that I guarantee. Like if we ever decide to put money towards actually writing out and sketching and getting these creatures that we describe or these entities or locations or anything that we talk about actually put to paper, God, I guarantee Toby's going to be behind it. Toby.exe, that's at Toby, DOTEXE on TikTok, Blue Sky, and YouTube is the place to be. Toby's also a Crit Award nominated artist when it comes to character art in particular. I think we both hired him for like several different characters in the past. Audience, I wish I could describe how amazing Toby is. If you want to see his stuff, Instagram is the best place to do it because obviously it's a more visual platform. If you find him there, it's at _ Toby, DOTEXE _ so you want to add those underscores there. But either way, he's amazing.
We need to get him
Please
to
check him out.
draw. We need to get him to draw Ecleus and the children of Cato, the demigods. Those are like my main two that I want Toby to draw someday.
Toby's done gods and godlike beings before too.
That's
he's
what I'm
like,
saying, dude.
he's so
He's a
good.
god.
He's so good. So check him out. In the meantime, anything else to say before we log off, Odie?
Well, if you want more Worlds Apart content, we also have our own pages for Worlds Apart. You can find us at Worlds Apart TTRPG on basically all these same platforms previously mentioned. Funny clips, little updates if ever needed. If you want to follow us, feel free to check it out. I also just want to say thank you to everyone who has been watching this podcast and enjoying it and leaving comments. And it's really cool to see the feedback that two friends building a world together can have such a positive impact on people and inspire people to create their own stuff as well, which is really, really cool. A few people have commented on the YouTube about ideas that they've gotten from Worlds Apart, which is awesome. So it's been really nice to see, and I really appreciate the support. So just wanted to say
wonderful. I mean, you guys might have noticed we haven't had a single like proper ad spot with regards to this podcast. It's mostly because we're just doing it as friends. Like Odie, it's his idea, and he came up to me and he's like, "Hey, do you want to be a part of it?" It's genuinely just two friends doing something that they like. So the fact that we're almost at 3,000 lifetime downloads, and at the point that we're recording this, we have fucking 10 episodes out. That's insane, right? So I appreciate you guys immensely. You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much for your support. Again, that's at Worlds Apart and TTRPG if you want to keep up with us on everywhere else. In the meantime, we will see you guys in the next episode in 2 weeks. So have a wonderful rest of your weekend,
whatever.
Whatever.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
We love you guys. Bye.